Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court with Krissy. The root of this Karen's parking problem? Space-time limit is 2 hours. Obviously, it takes a lot longer to become a blonde. I hope you like it. Court with Krissy is now in session.
Ma'am, if you just step up to the table. Case 24, PKV 00617. This matters before the court at Ms. Spears' request for a trial on a parking infraction that was issued in this case. Has there been any resolution of this matter reached?
Not that I'm aware. I know
All right.
I know she wrote in asking for it to be dismissed.
And your office reviewed it, and the office of the law director has decided what?
That we're not going to dismiss it. I mean,
On behalf of the city. Okay. Then, so Ms. Spear will proceed forward to trial at this point, and you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Lewis.
And raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in the matter presently before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the penalties of perjury?
I do, ma'am.
You may be seated. And you may inquire.
Thank you. I know we just asked you these questions, Officer Lewis, but how long have you been with the Newark Police Department?
Just shy of 30 years, sir.
Did you happen to be working back on October 9th of this year, 2024?
Yes, sir.
You recall what shift or hours you were working that day?
It was earlier morning. We concluded before 4, working parking enforcement for Downtown Business Association.
Thank you. Now, on that, while you're working those parking duties, you're wearing the uniform of the day, such as the one you have on now.
Yes, sir.
You were operating a marked cruiser with a visible functioning light bar.
Yes, sir.
On that date, did you happen to issue a citation on a vehicle registered to a Brenda Spear?
Yes, I did, sir.
Do you recall how that came about?
Making rounds on the second round coming around. Checked the vehicle located in the area of 34 South 2nd Street. When I checked it with the handheld computer that I'm issued by the city, it said that the vehicle had been there the allowable 2-hour time limit. At that time, I went ahead and issued the citation to the vehicle. At that time, it was just the vehicle; nobody was there.
Certainly. And as far as you're talking about, it was marked. You were noted in the system. How does that come about that the car is registered in that capacity? Like, how do you know it was
Well,
there?
first it's checked. The license plate's checked through the computer. The computer keeps track of the time it initially marked, and obviously the second time I checked it, I use leads, which is law enforcement automated data system, to retrieve the information on the owner of the vehicle from the license plate that's on the vehicle, and that's the information that's placed in on the citation to the registered owner.
Certainly. And do you recall if you were the one that first noted that vehicle being there in the morning, or was it somebody else that?
No, it was just me working, sir.
Okay. Now, this 2-hour zone, is it 2 hours every day? Is it 2 hours with like a 5-hour span? How does that? How do you just like?
The easiest way to describe it: it's 2 hours during banking hours, Monday through Friday, excluding holidays.
Okay. And so you indicated you'd seen this vehicle there. It was over the 2-hour period. You issued a citation. Did you speak to the owner at all? Did you say?
Later, I had conversation after the citation was issued.
Mm-hmm.
Later, I had conversation with the owner, and she advised that she was in having, and I don't know what, hair done. Obviously, I don't know a lot about having hair done, but I also spoke to the owner of the beauty shop for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Their concern was that sometimes it's hard to do perm, dye, whatever that she was having done within the 2-hour limit. I told her I didn't have any discretion on that, and then gave her some information to contact the safety director's office to see if she could possibly be issued a pass through Safety Director Hickman.
Understood. So your testimony, I mean, knowledge of the code, it's pretty rigid, right?
Yeah.
Okay. No further questions. Oh, wait, before I go, was that in the city of Newark, Lee County, Ohio?
Yes, it was, sir.
Thank you. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. And ma'am, do you have any questions you'd like to ask the witness?
Yes.
You may proceed.
Do you recall that day being the first day of early voting?
I do know it was during the time of the Board of Elections, because I think we also had the discussion about the parking passes being issued to some of the Board of Election people who was parked, I think, right next to you, that had been issued while they're working whatever they do in the administration building at 20 South 2nd.
And do you recall the parking garage being closed at the top floor?
It's been, yeah, the parking garage top floor has been closed for several months now.
And do you recall us asking you where you would suggest us to park?
Yes, and I remember telling you with the new construction on the 5-story parking garage, it's supposed to be done here in a year and a half, and everything else, that it was quite tight downtown. But the closest non-marked timing would have been, oh gosh, probably the other side of the viaduct railroad tracks.
Okay, thank you. And I have one more question and I'm already forgetting it. Jeez. That's all.
Redirect?
Officer Lewis, do you control who hands out parking passes?
I know I do not hand out or control any of the handout. I'm not even sure of the requirements, as I don't know her name, the shop owner, I'll call her.
Right.
I don't know the requirements to get it. The only thing I know is that we've been instructed that they come from the safety director's office, and that's the only authority to hand out the parking passes.
Sure. And you administer this parking code equally as to everyone?
Correct. That's what I'm doing. I just continuously make rounds downtown.
Sure. No further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And ma'am, do you have any other questions?
Yes, I just remembered it. I remember you saying to me that, as you noted earlier, that it wouldn't have mattered if I came out halfway into my hair appointment and moved my car. It's a 2-hour limit per day.
Correct. It's the whole downtown. What this I'm assuming the city council has designated as a downtown parking is a 2-hour zone throughout. So if you take your vehicle and move it to another parking spot, correct. We do not check per parking spot. We check just for the 2-hour limit.
Right. And do you recall that particular day, us looking around and saying, where's a parking spot for me?
I do. I don't know if we had those exact words, but I do know it was very tight and very crowded that day, especially at the beginning of, like you said, the early voting.
Right. And there was a van of some sort down there rallying
Correct.
the voting as well. Thank you.
Correct.
That's all.
Thank you. You may step down.
Yes, ma'am.
And the city may call its next witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. We don't have any further witnesses for us at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Spear, do you have any witnesses you would like to call, or would you like to testify?
I would, and I also have a witness, which is the owner of the hair salon.
All right, so
Stephanie
why don't
Green.
we have you go first?
Okay.
All right,
Up
so if
here.
you just step up and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in the matter presently before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the penalties of perjury?
I do.
You may be seated. And now you're under oath. Tell me your side of this.
Okay. I pulled in, looking around trying to find a parking spot. It was very crowded that day. And the only one that I seen available was in front of the parking garage. So that's where I parked. Went in to get my hair done. And it typically takes 2.5 hours for my hair to get done. So we actually talked about our concern. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get a ticket because I don't know if my hair is going to take longer, and it did. And the parking garage was full. The place was packed. It was first day of early voting. There was rallies going on for either side of the parties. And it was just pretty much either cancel my hair appointment or hope that I didn't get a ticket. The choices were pretty minimal. I know that Stephanie has tried to contact numerous times someone to help her with her customers, because the majority of the customers, the appointments do take longer than 2 hours. So my request is just that I have an understanding by the city of Newark that there needs to be some kind of leniency for Stephanie's customers.
Thank you. You may cross-examine.
Thank you, Ms. Spear. I mean, so there's no dispute, you know how long it takes to get your hair done, right? Right.
Correct.
How long have you been going to this hair salon?
I don't know if her salon has been there for 10 years on the square, but I've been going to Stephanie for probably close to 20.
And how many times a year do you get your hair done at this location?
Every 6 weeks.
6 weeks, okay. So pretty regular.
Yes.
Okay. Considering circumstances, you didn't think about possibly rescheduling a portion of this appointment at that time? You just rolled the dice, basically. Is that my understanding?
Getting into Stephanie is very tough. She doesn't even see new clients. And trying to reschedule with her would have put me out another 6 weeks, most likely. I know that some people don't feel that's important. I work in the public, and it's important to me.
Okay. And I'm not disputing that. I'm just considering what, you know, your rationalization is of this. So, thank you. I don't have any further questions, Ron. Thank you.
Thank you. And ma'am, do you have anything else you would like to say based on the questions that you were asked?
No.
All right. And so if I'm understanding you correctly, you knew you were over time, but you're here so that the city will listen to a downtown parking problem, right? And to try to have a forum for that.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you very much. You may step down and you may call your witness.
Okay. Stephanie Green. Do I sit here?
Yeah, you just sit there. And ma'am, raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in the matter presently before this court to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And this you do under the penalties of perjury.
I do, ma'am.
All right, you may be seated. And just so we're clear about our record here today, since you're being recorded, would you please state and spell your name?
Stephanie Green, StephanieGreen.
All right, and Ms. Green, you're now under oath, so give me what you know about this incident.
Well, the parking has been going on for, violations for a while now. I mean, it hasn't truly been an issue until October 9th, I guess. And I just don't think it's fair that a client or a paying customer to the downtown should have to struggle for a parking spot. And then when they come in for a service at my shop, which is no fault of his, obviously, be penalized for that. We have free parking around our area. We have, next to my building, there is a public parking for customers of the downtown, and it's full with employees to the administration building. We can't get that regulated. So the garage is another option, which it was full that day, and half of the garage was shut down due to construction. So there really is not a lot of parking in that area. And I don't think a customer should have to walk a couple blocks just to come into the shop on that day. And I can't control the time frame that they're there either. And I understand that the officer doesn't know whose car is whose. But this is the first time that a client has been penalized for, coming and, supporting my shop. So
I misunderstood. You told me earlier that this is a regular problem, but this is the very first client you've ever had that got a parking ticket.
the officer's not always there ticketing. He's not always
Yeah.
around. This
Okay.
just happened to be the early voting, and it was just a complete mess on my side of the square. So
Thank you. You may cross-examine.
Thank you. So, Ms. Green, if I understand you correctly, your only involvement with this is the fact that Ms. Spear was your client that day, right?
yeah, she's a customer to my shop, and
Sure.
there's nowhere for her to go, and I don't think she should be penalized.
Sure. And unequivocally, this is the first time this has been an issue, right? And you've been there how long?
I've been there for, I think, 12 years.
Okay. No
Yeah.
further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. And ma'am, do you have anything else you would like to say based on the questions you were just asked?
No,
Thank you.
thanks.
You may step down. And Ms. Spear, do you have any other witnesses you would like to call?
No.
All right. We'll turn now to, you still sit up here. Okay, your
This
case
is my
isn't over yet.
First jury, sorry, whatever
All
you call
right.
it.
And does the city wish to present evidence in rebuttal?
Your Honor, I'm not discounting the value that Ms. Green's business brings to the community. I understand the rigors of the parking situation. I didn't make that law. No one in this room was involved in setting that ordinance, but it's the ordinance that we have. I'm hearing something it seems to equate to like a necessity or exigency kind of justification, defense. I really think that fails necessarily. I mean, it sounds from the testimony that Ms. Spear knew what the risk was, and despite that, didn't make other accommodations, didn't have someone come pick up the car. There are other avenues, and I understand that this is a hair appointment and things take time, and I'm not naive to that fact. But I think we've met our burden, and we'd ask the court for a guilty finding. Thank you.
And anything finally, Ms. Spear?
Yeah, I just wanted to make the statement that Stephanie is trying to run a business in downtown Newark, brings a lot of revenue to downtown Newark with that business. It's very important to her to be able to have her customers come and not worry about getting a ticket. And if the city of Newark would like to see its businesses thrive without feeling constrained to limitations as a parking ticket while they're there, then Newark needs to reconsider their allowances for certain businesses down here, or they may leave. If she loses her customers, chances are she's going to move.
And anything finally in rebuttal on behalf of the city?
I would note the testimony relates that this is the first time this has happened, the business being there in 12 years, so I understand the represented concern about driving business out of Newark, but it seems somewhat minimal concerning this is the first time that's happened. Thank you.
Well, I understand, frankly, why you two ladies are here. However, this is not the forum that the law permits to be used to object to the city having decided the strictness of their parking ordinances downtown. It's the prerogative of the mayor and council to make the laws. The judicial branch of government simply applies the laws. The parking ordinance that was made for downtown, whether it's good for business or not, frankly, I don't have any power to enact. I don't have any voice in what was passed. We'll still have no voice in what was passed. It's that branch of government that needs to be addressed here. My job is to look at the ordinance as it exists and to determine whether it was violated. And it was. And so I think you're here for good reasons in the wrong place, unfortunately. We do not, Newark government does not permit citizens to attack the validity of the ordinances or laws they pass by coming here. So I thought it was worth a moment at least to talk about, it sounds to me like you're very, very concerned about this problem. I support business owners. Okay, everybody does. You're right. The economy doesn't function without them. And small business owners, I would only urge you to please make an appointment with the mayor, make an appointment with your city safety director, talk to them about this issue. Because right now, you're coming to one of the few people in the city who can't do anything about it. So, unfortunately, it's a parking ticket. So, but I hope that you do follow up and have your concerns appropriately addressed by the people who are in a position to change it. All right. Thank you, and this matter is now adjourned, and you are free to go.
Thank you.